Hey, Nick and Andy. I was just calling to let you guys know that I've missed listening to you guys shoot the shit so much. I just listened to the most recent podcast and literally laughed my ass off throughout the whole thing. One thing I want to bring to your attention, Andy, is that you may or may not be aware that you have reached the huge celebrity milestone of being a hall pass. You know, like when you get into a relationship with somebody and the boyfriend says if he got the chance he'd sleep with Margot Robbie and the girl would sleep with George Clooney or Brad Pitt or whatever. Well, Andy, you are my Brad Pitt. You have been my hall pass in my past 2 relationships if I ever were to run into you. And I think that is something to press the little clap button on your soundboard to. Also, now that I'm solidly single, I feel like maybe it's not that far-fetched that we could meet sometime. But now that you have my number, the ball is in your court, baby. I'll send a headshot, too, just for good measure. Anyways, I hope you both have a fabulous weekend. Love you both. Bye.
Here we go. Oh. And we're live. Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. I'm Andy Frasco. How's our heads? How's our minds? Are you making sure you're micromanaging your band with one of the best merch persons in the country? Sam Sutton from Umpers McGee's in the building.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How are you?
Sam!
How are we?
What's up? We're in your town.
You're in Peoria. You're in my town.
I fucking love you.
I love you, too, and I have to go to work. This fucking
I know.
sucks.
Where are you flying to?
We're flying to D.C. today.
You guys are playing 9:30 Club?
9:30.
How are the boys? What's the morale like?
Morale's high.
Yeah?
Morale's high on the team.
Nobody wants to fight each other in Umphreys' crew?
Not yet.
That's good. I'll clap to that. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Bob on any given night. Louis will rile Bob up on any given night.
Yeah, I know.
And then we're ready to go.
Well, while you're here, I guess we have a special announcement.
We do.
Should we announce it on the podcast?
Yes.
I think we should. What? Okay, so Sam is our promoter for this one show. It's a very special show. Hold on. What do you got?
I got Andy Frasco and Brendan Bayless live at Kenny's West Side Pub
In Peoria, baby.
in Peoria, Illinois, May 11th.
We're doing a solo gig.
Let's
My
go.
first ever solo gig.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Watch out, Dashboard Confessional. Frasco's coming with a solo show. So what do you want me to do with this thing? Like just sing songs with Brendan? Like we just go song and song? We just like talk shit to each other?
I figured you guys played together as a team. You know,
I love it.
Maybe play some UN tunes.
Yeah, we'll play some, and I'll play some. I'm such a
Humphreys tunes.
No Humphreys tunes.
Play some UN tunes. Play some Billy Joel tunes.
Brendan's gonna really realize what type of great keyboard player he has of Joel Cummings when he has to have me back him up on his tunes on the piano.
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
This is exciting. I've always wanted to do a solo gig.
That's what's up, dude. You're gonna crush it.
What date is it?
It's May 11th.
Right before summer camp.
Right before summer.
So everyone who's mad that I couldn't make summer camp this year, me and Bayless, live in Peoria, Illinois, we're going to get this shit popping.
You guys are going to crush it. That's all we got to do.
Watch out, world! Frasco solo in Peoria
Let's
with Brendan
do it, baby.
Bayless.
Let's
we
do
love
it,
it.
baby.
I know you got to get out of here.
I got to fly.
You got to fly. All right, buddy. Well, go get on your flight. We love you. It was just so nice to see you. I didn't think you'd make it before your flight, and you're here in Peoria with us.
I told you.
Just fucking shit up.
It's really easy when I live 2 minutes from this venue. So
I fucking love it.
I love you.
Sam, thanks for being on the show,
Thank you.
buddy.
Thanks
Let's
for having
fucking
me,
go.
buddy.
Let's fucking go. There he is.
Let's go, baby.
Our goat. We got the whole band here. Hey, Floyd's even here. Floyd, come over here. Floyd, come over here.
His back is better.
Yeah, his back. See, he's always, I don't know what the deal is, but his back is better. We got Floyd Kellogg finally in the band again.
Floyd.
Go over here, Floyd. Go in the middle.
Floyd.
How the fuck we doing?
What a pleasure.
What's up, Floyd? Where you been?
Where have I been?
Yeah.
Working on my back.
You been working on your back?
No. My back's fine. That's old news. Where have I been?
Yeah.
I was
Where's
checking
he
out
been?
some schools
Andy Alva.
for
Working on your back sound like you were doing some.
working on my back.
Sound like you were selling your dick.
Someone broke my back. Man, I was getting so much dick over there that my back blew. Well, I have a bone to pick with you, and I'm going to talk to the fucking podcast about it.
Oh, boy.
The last 2 times you've been to Denver, the first time we took up my parents to a really fancy dinner. Fancy dinner. This man was blacked out, passing out at this.
Lies.
We went to this 18-course dinner. It was an amazing dinner. And
Sounds
I was
great.
like, man, I want to take the boys out. And we had to kick you out of the own dinner, too, because
I was tired.
you were bullshit. You were drinking IPAs all fucking day. No, I'm calling bullshit. You were not
It
tired.
was late at night.
That's bullshit. It wasn't late at night. It was 7 p.m. This is why I can't have you do
It's
dry
tiring.
January.
It's tiring out here.
Shut the fuck. No, it is. My mom was like, "Is he on heroin?" My mom said.
Does he do
and
that stuff?
Now she thinks this band is addicted to opiates because Floyd was sleeping over a tuna tartare.
And I'm feeding him, trying to get him to eat, and he can't even use the chopsticks. No motor skills.
I saw him once hold an oyster upside down, and like right when everyone he thought was going to like not see him, he throws the oyster over his.
What?
You threw the oyster over your head? Yes. To pretend, and then the waitress is like, "What the fuck is happening?" And she's like cleaning the oyster. I'm like, "Yo, this is a fucking $2,000 dinner, okay?"
Oh,
Jesus fucking Christ! And then.
sorry, I ruined your $2,000 dinner, Andy.
I was just trying to impress my parents. Don't think it was about you, okay?
Yeah, well, you impressed them, all right.
I did. They knew. They now I get text every time. So
They're like, is he gotten
how's
clean?
Floyd? Yeah. This is why I can't have you do dry January, okay? Right before a tour.
Yeah, every time I do dry January.
The minute you start drinking, you come
something
back
happens.
on tour. And you, but this
I put myself in the hospital after a dry January.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I went on a cleanse and then I was like, all right, it's over with. And I went to a bar and like ate nachos and drank Guinness. And for 2 nights or 2 days, I had this like insane pain in my abdomen.
Dude, same.
And I was up and I was like, then I started feeling like I had to pass out. I drove myself to the hospital and I almost passed out in the emergency room. And then they got me hooked up to IVs. I was there all night. And then the doctor
That's what happened
in the
my
morning.
birthday.
He just tapped me on the shoulder and said, "No more cleanses."
And then here you are cleansing right
Here I
before
am, cleansing
our
again.
big Ogden show. But that's not even the half the
Friends
part.
don't let friends cleanse.
Yeah, that's the 2024 motto. Yeah, friends don't let friends cleanse. But then the worst part is we brought you back to the hotel. You decided it was fine to just start leaving the hotel and walk through Colfax. We knew your phone was still at the restaurant. I get an email. Let me read this email to our podcast fans. I get this email from a random. This was at 3 a.m. It says, "Yo, I'm lost without a phone. I'm at 16th Street in Colfax. Can you text Bo and let him know? No rush. I'm just chilling in a hotel lobby that isn't your hotel."
Smiley face.
And then literally 3 hours later, that was at 7 a.m. 6:41 a.m. And then 3 hours later at 10 a.m. Never mind. All good.
You got back to me later. You go, your phone is at the house. Yeah, because someone looked up, find my phone, and she's like, "Yeah, it's at this near this place, near wherever." And then she goes down and does the street Google thing, and you could spin the camera around. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that house.
It's my house."
It's Andy's house.
And then we thought it'd be a nice idea, go take the boys out, go have a little Japanese dinner. Mm-hmm. You pass out again, Floyd.
I was tired. That was tired. That was a long day.
You can't
It's tiring
bullshit
out
this.
here.
No, you can't bullshit this fucking fan base.
It's tiring out here.
They know when you're 27 IPAs deep. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You need to chill it out a little bit. Okay, you're back on the road. I can't have you blacking out. Well, fuck it. It's the Midwest. This is what they do.
IPAs in our fridge now?
Probably.
Maybe
But
I'll
god
have
damn
one.
it. So Floyd, are you going to be on better behavior this week? That's all the fans want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel great.
We did watch
I think
Kitchen
that's the
Nightmares
problem.
last night. We didn't even really drink that much.
No, we didn't.
We watched Kitchen Nightmares. It was so cute. We're all a band, and yeah.
I don't know why.
We had
I
about
don't watch
7
much
IPAs.
TV. Somehow I managed to watch that.
I couldn't believe it, too.
Consecutive episodes of that show.
You were glued to Gordon Ramsay just yelling at these fucking poor people's dreams. You're like, ooh, I love this.
It's kind of, I don't know. One day I looked up a recipe of his, and then I all of a sudden stumbled on the show. And I was like, this is kind of fun. I don't, you watch food shit
I love
too,
it.
where
I love it.
people.
I watch it all the time on Instagram.
Either the people commenting on someone making some shit and you're like, what the fuck is going on? There's a lot of those now.
Well, we're happy to have you back.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. I'm bummed you missed my birthday, but I understand you had to have your own Super Bowl party. It's fine.
Yeah.
All your kids and stuff, they love.
I was working on.
What were you working on?
I was working on that track.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't gaslight me.
Wasn't gonna send it to you that day.
Gaslight me. Do not gaslight me. Floyd, all right, go back to your
Have
studio.
fun.
Thank you.
Have
Floyd
fun with your
Kellogg,
studio.
ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Thank you so much. Wow, unbelievable. Andy Avila, get in here. I want you to hear the other side of the story. Andy Avila, our drummer. The UN's backbone.
He was not tired.
He was not tired.
I watched him at the airport drink and not eat, and then get to your house. And on the way from the airport to your house, we stopped. He had to go in there. Let's stop and get some beers, a couple of beers. He gets 10% alcohol IPAs.
Yeah.
With
He's
no name on him because he's so cool.
Yeah, he's like, these are worth the money. I'm like, why is it worth the money? And I looked at the thing, 10% fucking alcohol.
8.9 or 9.
They don't even sell 6-packs of those. You have to buy a 4-pack because they're dangerous. God damn it.
Yeah, so he sits there and drinks, and then we're waiting to get the dinner together. The second Japanese dinner he falls asleep at.
The second fucking one.
But also, it might have been our fault for thinking he can use chopsticks after drinking IPAs for 2 times in a row. So maybe.
Yeah, it's okay.
Or maybe we wanted to see him fail.
It was the altitude.
It was the altitude.
Yeah.
What the fuck ever, dude. How's it going?
I had a wisdom tooth taken out.
I know. It feels
sucked.
like you're finally getting back to normal.
I'm back. I
That
can
first
sing.
show back
It sucked.
in Arizona, you
sing.
looked fucking miserable.
Couldn't sing. I had stitches in my gums.
Yeah.
Well, my teeth are good now.
Well, it's good, and it helped, and it dried you out a little bit. You didn't drink or
I
anything.
didn't drink.
Yeah.
I was barely eating, so that's cool.
Yeah. I love when you lose weight from not drinking. You feel clean.
Eating charcuterie.
Eating charcuterie.
This is amazing spread here.
It's a great spread. Shout out to Peoria.
Yeah.
Well, let's rock it. We have one more week of shows, and then
5 in a
Winter
row.
Wondergrass. You guys, next weekend we are playing. Oh, we don't have a show next weekend. The following weekend, the
Steamboat.
29th, we're playing in Steamboat. Winter Wondergrass. Anything your little bluegrass hearts could handle at that festival, plus us.
Us.
I want to party with Sierra Farrell though.
She's good.
She's very good.
Yeah, she's really good. She sat in with us once.
Yeah.
Summer camp.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah.
Well, let's bring it on.
Oh, never mind.
What?
I thought you were talking about the.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the.
Oh no, that's Sierra Hall.
Oh, okay.
She's
okay.
probably there too. Every
they're
bluegrass.
both good.
They're both good. Let's go.
Let's
Shout
go.
out to the Sierras and bluegrass.
Bluegrass people. We love you.
We love you. All right, Beats.
Later.
Go get.
I gotta go chill.
Yeah, go chill. No, I gotta get our boy here, Mr. Shawn Eckels. Shawn Eckels is here. Very special announcement. The band leader for the World Saving Podcast Tour. By the way, here he is. Woo! Here he is. By the way, grab your tickets. We just found out there's a low ticket warning in Raleigh without even announcing guests. Raleigh's low ticket warning.
You can goddamn guarantee as soon as we announce the guest, that fucker's sold out.
Oh, it's going down. That's going to be a fun one.
Nice.
We're
I'm excited.
almost ready to announce the actual guest, but we are ready to announce
The band members
the
of
half
the World
band,
Saving
the World Saving
Late
Band.
Night Band. World Saving Late Night Band.
Yep. We're very excited. Sean,
Yeah.
you curated these band members yourself. How do
did.
you feel about what's going on?
I feel great. I tried to get as many of our friends, they're all touring musicians, so
Yeah.
it's hard to get everybody who's in town.
Right.
If I couldn't get our cream of our crop, our best friend playing the band. I got their best friend.
Let's
playing our
fucking
band.
go. We love to
So
see
we're
it.
gonna be in Philly on the 9th.
Okay, so let's announce each one. So March 9th, Philadelphia at the Fillmore, the Foundry on the Fillmore. Who do you have for 3-9 in Philadelphia?
In the world-saving late night band.
In the
we have
World Saving Late Night Band.
Mike Greenfield
From Lotus. Whoa, our drummer. We love it.
And his friend John Coleman from the band Muscle Tough.
Damn, that's a big band.
So they got a little relationship there.
You got a little trio going on.
So we're gonna rock it, and then of course we're gonna make you play piano, and we're gonna force Nick Gerlach to play saxophone.
You know, yeah. He said he's not going to bring his sax unless it's sold out. He's bringing it just in case they don't sell out. But 3-9 low ticket warning. What do you have for New York City?
City Winery, New York City.
City Winery.
This is possibly. I'm very excited.
I think this is another great lineup you put together.
Our good friend Caleb Hawley, who's been on the podcast and everything. His bass player Nicholas Moyle.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
And he hung out with the Brooklyn.
He
Bowl with
loves
us.
our
Cool,
band.
Cool, cool. He's a great guy.
He'll be
awesome.
ready for anything you put to him.
But the big win here for the New York show, none other than John Bongiorno, our booking agent, is playing drums.
our booking agent, is playing drums.
Coming out of retirement.
He's coming out of retirement for the World Saving Podcast
He told
Tour.
me he's dusting his sticks off.
Dude, if people don't know, our agent used to be a fucking killer drummer. He was in punk bands and stuff. Now he runs Arrival Artists, our booking agency, and he wants to be the drummer for the City Winery.
I'm excited to share the time with him.
Who do you have for Raleigh on 313? The low ticket warning so far, Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Poorhouse. Who do you have?
Well, I hit up the Big Something Boys who are going to be on tour, and they gave us their A-list brothers in music.
I love
in the Raleigh
it.
scene. We got Leo, Chris Shore from Persistent Itch. I thought his band name was worth the admission right there.
Yeah, I love that.
Go see a doctor, get rid of it. And then Cassim Williams from Red Panda.
Ooh, Nick's side project.
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
It's going to be fun. These guys are cool. I've been talking to everybody.
I love
It's
it.
gonna be great. We're looking forward to that. And then obviously
The big surprise.
The big surprise in Denver
at Ophelia's.
We got the boys.
We got Andy Frasco and the UN is the house band.
That's right.
The boys are coming in. The boys are coming in hot and heavy. You set up a great lineup of bands. Are you ready to, dude? This is gonna be. It'll be fun. This will be the first time not going on tour without our band.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I mean, it's gonna be good.
Weird.
It's good.
It's gonna be
We're
weird.
really comfortable, but it's good.
We got Todd Glass opening every night.
That's gonna be
Todd
crazy
Glass
good.
is going on tour with us, and we're flying everywhere. It's just going to be a different experience. So grab your tickets for the podcast tour.
Touring with Todd. That's going to be a whole
Todd.
segment of the podcast.
Yeah, touring. We're going to
after this
find
is
out
said.
how anal Todd Glass is.
When we did Ophelia's last time, like he's like, you got in the green room. He's like, oh, we got to turn these lights way down. Like, I couldn't see anything. I'm trying to change
we're
strings. in the
blind
back.
as shit.
Anyways,
But
we're excited.
We're
Okay.
excited. You feeling good, Sean? Feeling healthy? You got some sleep last night?
Got a shitload of sleep. I'm still
Yeah.
coming out of my edible coma from
Dude.
dialed in gummies.
Yeah, shout out. By the way, you are one of the biggest promoters of Dialed In Gummies. Give us a little pitch about why everyone should eat Dialed In Gummies if you're in the Colorado area.
They're solventless.
They're solventless.
They're homogenous.
They're homogenous.
They taste fucking great.
And the Eckels are part of the Dialed In family.
That's right. My wife has her own edible because she it requires 200 to 300 milligrams of marijuana edibles.
His wife
to
needs to
even
drink-
catch any kind of a buzz. So
That's
they
fucking
made her
crazy.
own medicinal edibles called Toby One Kenobis,
And they're 50 milligrams.
50 milligrams apiece.
Yep. So grab yourself some Dialed In Gummies. You're going to love it. Sean, we love you.
Love you.
Get out of there. Let's finish this tour properly. And then you probably have like 20,000 solo gigs.
Next week. Yes,
Next
I do.
week.
We'll see you soon. Love you.
See you soon. Shawn Eckels. Unbelievable. This is going to be a great show for you. We have Jaime Wyatt. She is unbelievable. Her story, she's been in prison. She talks about hooking up in prison, which I love to hear about. I love prison. I want to hear all about it. She's putting out a new record. She's going on tour right now, and I really love her records. She's from Nashville. Yo, Chris, play some Jamie while I pimp her out of here. You're going to love this interview. She's completely honest about addiction and how she's trying to make the best out of life through addiction and how she had crazy life. She was like she tried to be a pop star when she was younger. Her family's into music, and she got fucked by a record deal, and now she's getting back out there. Now she's managed by our boy, Don Juan Julio Strasberg. We love Don. Shout out to Don. By the way, we're playing Red Rocks with Green Sky Bluegrass in September, so grab your tickets to that. But you're gonna love this interview. And if guys, I gotta talk about Dialed In Gummies. Yes, the best gummies on the planet. Not Dialed In Gummies. I mean, Volume.com, the best live stream company out there. Head out to Volume.com. If I'm telling you, we're trying to take the power back as artists, people. And that's the main goal. We don't want to rely on Instagram and Facebook anymore to alert our fans when we put out new content. And and Volume.com is that company that will help you get your stuff out there to your fans, so they're not just like window shopping on Instagram, waiting for hopefully you going live or hopefully you posting. And also, if you're not even a content creator, there's so many great live streams from Volume.com that are just archived, like our live at the Ogden's still on there if you haven't caught that one yet. All our podcasts are archived, and we're about to announce in March our special Patreon that we're doing. Yes, me and Nick are going to give you one extra episode. We're going to keep the paywall cheap, like $5 a month to hear one more extra episode of the podcast and hearing more things like extended motivation Mondays, and we're just gonna make it. We're gonna make it fun for you, and we're gonna keep it cheap so we, I know you guys have so many subscriptions, so support the gang. Help me pay Nick some money finally, and pay Joe Angel our producer. I've never was able to pay him before. I want to get the guys a little more dough. So let's we'll announce that next month or in a couple weeks. But yeah, get ready for that. All right, guys, are you ready? Here we go. Jaime Wyatt, the best. She's an amazing songwriter from Nashville. You're gonna love this episode, and I can't wait. And then who's after Jamie? Oh, we have Jim Norton next week. Oh my God, comedian Jim Norton is unbelievable. He's the rawest dude I've ever. He's insane. And then we have Nick Hexum from 311 on March 5th. Yeah, I interviewed him. Oh, you love 311. Oh, I forgot. Sean loves 311.
Feeling sandwich. I fucked it up there, man. Fuck yeah, 311.
Yes. Yeah, he was great, dude. He's still hot looking, dude. It's crazy how hot that dude looks. So we got a big one for you. We got a lot of great guests for you. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this, podcast fans. We will enjoy Jamie, and we'll catch you next week. Wow, here she is. You're like you're the most outlaw rebel interview I've had in a long time.
Well, I mean, by rebel, you mean I just got caught.
I'll clap to that.
Hey, well, I am a little rebellious, yes, but
Hey, Jamie.
Mostly for good, I swear.
How you doing, Jamie?
I'm so great. I'm stoked. Like a lot is happening.
I know. You excited for this year or what? Is a lot of things are happening. I saw you were announced on the Rateliff Mount Joy show too. How was that?
Yeah, that was epic. That was such a great show. My first arena performance, and that was just crazy, really beautiful.
What was it? What's the difference between arenas and club shows?
I mean, they're so much bigger. There's so many more people. The delay,
yeah,
right? That's the deal.
Dude. That would fuck me up.
I tell you, I was like, singing wasn't a problem. It was my keys were like boop, 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 boop. I thought they were like just popping off delay everywhere. And I was like, okay, good thing I know this song.
Yeah. And that's why it's like, when you get to that level, you get started to like doing in-ear monitors and shit, or it just starts.
I had one and I like ripped it out because I'm actually getting new ones for the first time. For the first time I'm getting in-ears, but I tried them the other night and I had been rehearsing, but I pulled it out. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I can't do them. They fuck me up.
Well, yeah, that's the thing if you're not used to them. And so like, it's got to be a really good fit, I think, in your ear. And mine was just not custom fitted because they weren't ready in time. And so they were a little clunky in there. But it's cool. It's actually really cool. I really like it. And that it's kind of like being in the studio. and like having cans. And I love that because then you can really get more of an experience. You got a good mix, you want to dance, you know?
Yeah. No, I love it. Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty. You ready? I'm
ready.
prepared. I got all my notes. My first thing I want to talk about is, in an interview you said you were writing songs to deal with grief, and it seems like at 14 years old, dealing with grief that much. What was going on? Why was death so relevant in your life at such a young age?
I think it was like my grandmother passed pretty young. She died very young of ovarian cancer, and that was why my parents moved back from LA. And it was just like a hard time. My parents didn't have a lot of money. They were artists, and you know, my Nana passing was like, that was gnarly. And we had like a farm, and there'd be like animals I got attached to that would pass away, you know, just life, learning about life. But I also think that I probably tuned into those things emotionally more than maybe other folks or other kids, right? You're like,
yeah,
I guess. Yeah. And then being a teenager on top of it. And my dad was like a wild musician, and my folks split when I was like 8. And my dad was just a wild man. Like, he just would not meant to. He's feral. I would like to use the term feral. And I have that feral gene. And I was given that. I was gifted that, I think. You know, this point in my life, I think it's a gift. But when I was younger, it was uncontainable, right?
Yeah. No,
yeah. Can you relate?
I could totally relate. I mean, I've been on the road since I was 17 years old or 18 years old. So,
right. Yeah.
I mean, I was, I got the rabies too, you know? So.
Yeah. Right. And, you know, I don't know about you, but like writing songs is a way to deal with grief, but also just kind of like learning about life and a reflection on how to like make sense of self. And I think that's kind of the human condition. Everybody's trying, they have certain ways to get connected to that. Right. And some people it's I don't know, maybe it's numbers or something, but
did your dad have substance abuse in early on in his life too?
Yes. And he would tell you that too, you know, if he were standing here, but it was, you know, when it was the 70s and 80s, and he was a wild man, and he came from like a family of like a huge Irish Catholic family, and his older brother died, and like, they all kind of raised themselves. And, so he was a wild man and loved being an entertainer, really charming, and he loved the wine, he loved the cocaine. You know, he would tell you that himself. Though.
Yeah. So do you think that was like the acceptance of being this free situation, or did you have no choice? Did you feel like you had to raise yourself because your dad was so out there, or your mom was so out there? Yeah. Like, do you feel like you were just alone?
Absolutely. And even if probably knowing I was queer from a young age too.
Oh, okay. That makes
was
sense.
Like knowing that I was different. I grew up in a very like Christian town. No one was gay. No one was gay. Right. It wasn't a thing. And it is so. Then I went to Seattle and I saw gay people, and I'm like, huh. But then like back in the 90s and 2000s when I was coming up, it was like everybody, like skaters, everybody dissed on gays. So you weren't.
Tacoma was like that. They were not like progressive. It was super right.
Well, see, I grew up in Gig Harbor, Washington. It's a tiny little fishing town. And
where's
just,
that?
Just smaller.
Relative.
Oh, sorry. The South Puget Sound in Washington State, Pacific Northwest, right? So surrounded by water. I grew up on a little island called Fox Island, and cold, you know, rainy, and but I don't know what it was. It was just a small town, I think, and not very diverse. And honestly, that must play into, because they're intellectual up there.
Right.
It's not that. It's really just, I think socially, no matter how smart we are, I think as a society, I think socially it takes a second for the rest of us, like our emotions to catch up, right? And how we talk to people. We never equated how we talk to people as much as we do now. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's just,
totally.
and how we use language. But so I think I just I was a sensitive kid. And yeah, probably because my dad was gone, and then my mom was just trying to like provide for 3 kids and do it. And I think, in all fairness, probably my dad was trying to be a parent somehow too, but he's just wild, man.
Did you ever resent him for not being there?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, today I have I have had therapy, and I'm not saying that like really, because you never know what is going to actually like help your body feel the shift and move out of resentments and things like that. But I think that time does help. But yeah, I've done a lot of talk therapy, and I've done a lot of EMDR and some somatic. I'm just getting into that. But
what's that?
You know, somatic being like, so I've done like probably like 6 or 7 sessions of this. So it's like when you're talking about things that ail you or the wound, right? You're like, let's just say I come into the session, I'm just like fraught, right? Fraught with, I'm like, I want to tell you everything, this, and I want to tell the story really quick. And she would like stop me after a couple sentences and be like, okay, that right there. Can we sit with that for a moment and try and locate that in your body, right? Like, where is the sensation and what is the sensation? Can you describe it?
Yeah.
Can you slow down and be with it? Maybe a hand to touch it, like things like that. And then there's grounding techniques for after working through the traumatic events. But usually working through the traumatic events is just trying to express maybe what was unexpressed in that moment, what you feel you didn't get to say, or first figuring out what the effing message is, right? I guess.
You know, because it must have been tough because you found out you were gay early in your life. You didn't really have a parents there to like give you a building ground to, you know, have your feelings and express them. So you suppressed all your feelings for so long. When was the first time you like actually accepted being gay and like said, I like this girl? Or
when I was 19.
19. So it took 6 years. That's what I'm saying. You're suppressing feelings for so long.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, how did you deal with childhood without talking?
Songwriting.
Yeah.
That was my only place I could be honest.
Right.
And even then I had created kind of this secret language for myself in poetry so I could disguise a lot of what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And put it in songs so it's general enough and nobody's not going to be like,
that's the fucked up part. Like, you're like, you had to make it general. Like, you couldn't even like be your complete full expression because you were afraid how other people were going to think about you. And it was the 90s where people were kind of like not cool with gay people.
Yeah, I think that is why, honestly, I'll be honest with you, Andy, like I might have had a first inkling that I was gay, but couldn't put a name on it, or that it was nothing more than like just admiring someone, right? And really, like, it wasn't till I was like 19 that I actually put a name to that. So I really didn't know I was gay for a long time. Then I was like, oh, I'm bi. And then at some point I was married to a man who's my dear friend today because he is a full rounded whole human and understands things. And anyway, so I sort of woke up in my late 20s and was like, no, I am not bi. I think I know why. I was like 6 years sober. I was like doing all the things and I was like so empty. But I knew that I loved my husband in a different way. Like it was like, we were like best friends. And he and I had been discussing it because we were like, so anyways, but yeah, so it's been a journey. And it is odd, definitely, that back in the day we couldn't really express everything. It's definitely odd. And probably just my particular story. If there was other things going on in the house that were like more pertinent to getting everyone's basic needs met, like they were all preoccupied trying to get our basic needs met. And my mom really was that. And she was emotionally there for a way. She just didn't understand or know gay people either.
Yeah. And when did your parents get divorced? You said it was young age. How old were you when?
Like 8, I think.
Oh, fuck. You were alone,
I think
dude.
it was like, I think it was like one of those long drawn out divorces though. That's like many years. And then there's like chaotic, dramatic yelling often. Right. And that's how I grew up, in that like a yelling house.
Maybe that's also the reason why you feared opening up your feelings, because you saw your parents fucking yelling at each other when they're trying to be honest with each other.
Oh, for sure. Right. I mean, and again, framed all around, now I am an adult and I'm like, life and society, and it's hard.
I know.
There's no doubt. And I can't even imagine having 3 kids.
Oh yeah, and especially with like I heard this story that like Bob Weir was always around. Like your dad was what, he was in session work with Bob. Like he was a musician, right?
No, not quite that. They wrote songs together. They were friends and friendly for a period of time and stayed in touch through the 90s and 2000s. I think the last time I remember going to concerts, but I was so young. My older sisters remember Bobby. I think they called him Uncle Bobby even then. And but he was at the house and hanging with my dad. My dad had lots of really great musician friends, and like Steve Cropper was another one of his friends.
Wow.
And and Little Feat. Actually, Little Feat, Kenny Gradney and Richie Haywood, they were playing for my dad on a recording session, and then that's how he was introduced to Bob. I believe Kenny introduced my dad to Bob.
What part of LA did you live in when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, I was born in Santa Monica. We moved when I was 4, so I don't recall all that much. But my folks moved around a ton. They were in Santa Monica, Van Nuys, Malibu at one point. At one point, they got horses, and they were in Agoura, because that's where I got my horse.
You're really into that, right?
I like horses. I'm not like an equestrian or really like I rode my horse when I was little,
right?
And I've gone trail riding.
You ever get
like
fucked
several
up on
times
those
for
things?
funsies? No, because I'm cautious. I was like, I got into skateboarding though, in all trueness. So I kind of ventured away from I was like BMXing, So I got away from the horses. My sisters are truly horse handlers and really amazing and talented. My sister was a barrel racer, so we used to go to these these country fairs where she would barrel race. And that was up in Washington though. So you were asking about LA, I guess. Yeah. We moved to Washington when I was 4, and my dad was trying to get off drugs, right, and get clean and get the family back together. My mom's mom was dying. But so when I moved to Washington, I just kind of had the memory of music. My dad, in the early years, always had studios at the house when we were kids, and so I grew up like tinkering with his shit when he wasn't looking.
That's awesome.
And then he would have band practice, and I'd come in and play percussion.
And that's when you first started falling in love with music?
Yeah, but I did also grow up going to see concerts, and that was really cool that my folks took me from when I was a baby.
Who struck a chord with you? As a kid?
Bonnie Raitt.
Oh,
Bonnie
hell
Raitt,
yeah,
I
dude.
remember.
She's a baddie, dude. She's a baddie.
Yeah, right. She was like this angelic figure, like playing Bottleneck Slide and singing with such ease and comfort, and I just remember the feeling, like everybody was just stunned. And so I met her after the show. My parents were backstage. I don't know who they knew at that point, but I met her, and I was like, I like your purple boots, and she liked my cowboy boots. So I was like, that planted the seed. I was like, I think I want to do exactly what this woman is doing.
So when did you start becoming a rebel? Because you talk about being cautious and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then your story of going to prison for 8 months or going back and forth through rehab. What stopped the cautiousness and you just started getting out of control of life?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I'm usually quite rehearsed. But, drugs and taking away all my inhibitions. I think when I first started experimenting with drugs, I knew right away that I was like, oh, this is probably going to be a problem for me because it's so effective.
Right.
Why do I feel like, oh, partying at 9 p.m. on a Friday night, I'm like, I could actually go do the work I'm supposed to do right now. I feel like my brain's actually functioning.
Right.
So I knew it was going to be a problem. And it became a problem, I think, as a result of the uncertainty of my career. I got a record deal when I was in high school. I was 17. I moved to LA when I was 18 or 19. And I'd already kind of had a habit, older siblings. And my, a middle sibling also has a substance abuse issue. And we partied together teenagers. We were kind of rebellious. And I guess even in high school because my mom was at work and my dad was whatever. We were just like, we were a little bit pissed off probably too, like
you were alone.
Yeah.
As a kid.
Yeah,
I was like
and
that
looking
too.
for solutions.
Yeah.
Just looking for solutions. And so I did a fair share of experimenting in high school. But oddly enough, Andy, the band that I started a band when I started playing out in venues when I was 14. And that kept me grounded. I think I would have spun out much sooner. But
you think so?
Alas, perhaps, yes. I think that music has actually been the most grounding force in my life. And it's guided me to make good decisions for myself. I think most people would say, oh, that's an occupational hazard you have there to go out on stages and travel so often that you must have to drink and do drugs. And but really, I think for me, it's the other way around. It's such a spiritual outlet. It's so healing in so many ways that it's like, it kept me grounded. So, but when that sort of got pulled away, what happened, I had this record deal and then streaming, like file sharing, which is even before, right? That's just iTunes or whatever, it was LimeWire and the Napster.
Right.
So then, which I thought was great, I was like on the computer, like, this is awesome. And then, it's all free. But like the record deal just kind of like everything just kind of fizzled out because I didn't know what to do.
Was it a development deal or was it like a development deal?
It was an album deal. It was an album deal with the movie company that had a recording label on the other side of it. There was Lakeshore Records, and they were a division of Paramount. And it was a really cool opportunity. I got to have songs in movies and on a couple movie soundtracks, but they just didn't know what to do when all the income goes away, right? You're like, what do you do if you can't sell the product you're making? So they hadn't figured it out yet. And in that time, I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Right. I have no outlet. There's no future. That was my first real, like, it just compounded on whatever else I'd been battling. This was my ticket, And
you've already been suppressing your whole life.
Right. Exactly. I'm suppressing. So that's a problem, right? There was too much pressure around the whole
it's like a fucking
situation.
It's like a coal turning into a pearl.
Yeah. Well,
instead of turning into a pearl.
If it doesn't kill you, it'll make you beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Or well, really tired for a while there. But
I bet.
So that's where, those years, that's when then there was another album deal I signed that like just went away in Los Angeles. And I was just like, I'd already addiction for me is progression, right? Started on little things and then I went to pills. For most people, I think pills are a gateway to harder opiates. And that was my story. And heroin and all that. And then so my decision making became, rash.
Why'd you go to jail?
To put it lightly.
Why'd you go to jail?
Sorry, my dog is here. I went to jail because I robbed my heroin provider.
Word?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, word for word. Word for word.
What happened? If you don't mind talking about it, is it too hard to talk about?
They owed me money. No. It's complicated, but I've talked about it a lot. I feel okay talking about it. Thank you. I robbed them because they owed me money.
Okay. You're just trying to get your money back.
It's a bad deal when the dealer owes you money, I was desperate. And and ill from not having heroin. And so I was just like, took a dude down there and gonna just strong arm, no weapons, but just intimidation, right? And then it's frowned upon in Santa Monica where this happened. And the irony,
He was selling you drugs.
Yeah, I know.
And you had to go to prison for it. That didn't matter.
Yeah, but they were actually connected. And here's the thing: is I robbed a lawyer's daughter.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just got fucked. He was the wrong person.
The perfect crime was not perfect.
Yeah.
It turned, so I'm like, really? And a great way for me to push pause on my life. Somebody did it for me.
Yeah.
Handcuffed. But they didn't catch me right away. So they arrested me out of the Northridge Hospital because I'd overdosed.
Yeah. I read that.
You know?
That's wild. So they clean you up and then they arrest you. That's more fucked up.
I don't even think that's legal now. Somebody was like, I don't think that's legal. And I was, who knows? But, it is what it is. And I spent 8 months in county. I took a plea, but then I also went to a program for another 9 months. There was like a halfway house. Fuck, that was hard.
Could you hook up in prison?
Oh, hell yeah.
You were hooking up?
Yeah.
Because you liked girls. So like, you're surrounded by girls. It must have been kind of, you could hook up, Did you get caught?
I did.
Did you get caught?
Yeah, no, I didn't get caught. It's pretty sophisticated in there not to get caught.
Yeah, how do you hook up in prison? How do you hook up in prison?
You gotta have a watch. You gotta have somebody, and then you gotta bribe that person to watch, to stand watch. It's like what we do when you get a bunch of kids in a schoolyard. Well, everyone's bored,
right?
And there's lots of substances brought in.
Yeah, like what? Like meth.
Yeah, meth, heroin, all the.
So you could get anything you want in prison.
Yeah, but you can't. Yes, you can. But it's kind of like what's available at the moment.
Yeah,
it's
I feel like you get
what
debt.
would I like?
You're in debt because you have no money, right? So how do you pay for it?
Well, you pay with your commissary, and that's your like shitty snack food that you buy for triple the price. It's like stuff from the dollar store that they triple, quadruple. It's brilliant, really, but they make so much money off inmates.
So who was supporting you in prison, giving you money in your card?
Probably my mom, and I had some money.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and then not probably. But because you need like hygienes, you need like to wash your hair or whatever. So I wasn't always trying, and I was trying not to do bad. I got in there, it's like, I'm not going to do drugs or whatever. But when you're alone with it, I was defenseless, and I was in a cell with someone that had drugs. So I relapsed back into my bullshit.
Wow.
Right.
In prison.
And jail.
Or
jail,
jail,
County.
sorry, county.
Yeah, no worries. I just know some folks who are in prison, they'd be like, oh, fuck this person.
She ain't in prison.
She's lying.
So,
but no.
This is very fascinating to me. Like, can you talk to me about the friends you had in prison and what type of depression they were dealing with? Like, some people were in life, how do you get out of your darkness as a person through jail when everyone is depressed and lonely and suppressing their feelings? Like, how do you grow as a person through jail?
That's an interesting thing, because actually I'd say a majority of people that were in jail and being incarcerated were incredibly resilient by just morale. They try and
get out,
especially if you're born in the neighborhood, like South Central or something. Most people that I met there were from South Central.
Okay.
All right. So,
Santa Monica,
it was
that's
sort of
closest.
just
Yeah.
Yeah. And they happened to put me in a very, a place where like reoffenders and cons, people that go in and out of prison, supposedly we call them cons. And so I was in a place with folks like that who knew a lot more and had been in the system longer, and just incredibly resilient, smart people that get around it. So most of them aren't that depressed because they're just getting through and getting by, and humans are incredibly resilient. But I did have moments where, when you're in a cell with someone, especially if there's days where you're locked down, you can't get out all day. I mean, I would hear about situations that were just mostly unjust, right? Just being from the wrong place and getting released back to that same place where opportunity is super, super limited. And, you know, it's like I have a sister who's really, you know, made herself really successful. I know I have an aunt or somebody, right? I had somebody. That's why I got through this situation.
Yeah.
And so I think most people, they don't have support and they don't have resources, where I'm over here talking about somatic therapy. You know what I mean?
So who was your mentor through these hard times?
You know what? That's a good question. I have had a lot of great mentors through 12-step programs, but you know, my mother's been really supportive also, and I've known people that you know, there were people that came in on H&I panels. Those are hospitals and institution panels that AA and 12-step programs bring in.
Right.
And that started to like actually kind of get in there sort of to me. And people are telling their stories and they'd be like, I was here, I did the exact same things, and I have a life today and I'm not miserable. And I could see that they were smiling, and I was like, maybe I should take a look at that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so that was a good influence. And then of course, getting out and getting, just trying to be like, walk the line and do 12-step and stuff. And I did that for many years.
Maybe it was a blessing in disguise that you put out your first record later in your life. Because like, what if you had to deal with all this stuff while you're fighting an addiction, you know?
Yes, exactly. And I honestly think it's just gone exactly the way it should. Right. And I just feel much more equipped, and at least equipped with even the vocabulary to deal with life.
Wow.
You know, a little bit. So
how many times were you in rehab?
Oh God, who knows? Okay. See, you know, I think I'm afraid to do an accurate count, Andy. But I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like 7
times.
Yeah.
And what made you what made you continue to relapse? Did you feel alone still?
Well, sometimes in the beginning, right, there's just, you're not actually even in, they say. You're just, you keep relapsing, you're trying to get clean, right? So there's some of those, I think, were me just trying to get clean. And in the beginning, right, getting amassing like 60, 90 days is actually really difficult. Once you get to those points, for me, that's when, and I've seen this with others too, is so you get to like 30, 60, 90 days, you can start, things get easier.
Yeah.
So then there was a time though, so all through my first sobriety after this jail experience, right, I amassed 7 years sober, and then and that's, I'm still not really in touch with my like sexuality or my gender identity and things like that. So I really just kind of like tripped out at 7 years and relapsed
and went back.
Yeah, it went back. I didn't go back to
heroin.
I never went back to heroin. No.
Was it pills, or what did you get into?
I just got into alcohol like crazy. I got into meth. Shit.
That shit's wild.
Boy.
I was up for like 4 days on meth, and I was like, super horny. It's crazy. That shit's a wild drug, dude.
It's a wild
drug. Wild fucking drug.
Quite incredible. I
thought it was
really
pretty
impressed.
tight. I talked to it once. I'm like, I can't do this again because I'm going to be coming on everything.
Well, I just think I'm a genius when I'm on it. So, you know, and I was very productive for a time. And that's how I met. I was dating a girl. This is crazy how I got into meth. I was dating a girl. It's like one of my first like queer relationships. And I wake up one morning and we're partying and drinking like quote unquote normal, you know, and like there's just cocaine, alcohol. And I woke up one morning and I heard her like cutting lines. And it was just kind of like, I'm like, I'm an old drug user. I'm like, wait, now what are you doing over there? And that was speed. And these were like, this person was an artist, a working artist in the industry, and like on the fine art side or whatever.
Right.
And what I learned is there's a lot of folks doing that.
Right.
It's not as like, it's not just people in the gutter.
No.
Yo.
No. Speed is a real, like, what was harder to kick, heroin or speed?
You know, I can't even compare them. I think they were both really painful. I think
Because they're such different drugs, right? Or they
yeah, it's just that the losing your, for me, it was losing my reality.
right.
And that's what it started to do that to my brain. And I was just like, no more. Like, that's worse punishment than the physical pain, I think, of opiates. It was
Right.
just,
What were you working on
awful.
after those 7 years where you relapsed into meth? Like, what were you working on music? Were you working on yourself?
I mean,
or-
always. Yeah.
Always.
I was always working on music. I was always recording, making demos, writing. I've always written, not daily, but like every couple of days. It's just part of my thing because my parents, it was like
Right.
how we're always singing and writing songs, making up songs. And so I am really grateful for that. And I did that throughout,
Yeah.
on or off drugs. It's never, I did a lot of work. I made a lot of music sober. It's cool now to think about it, but I also did make a lot of songs loaded.
Did you?
And wasted a lot of maybe people's time being,
Oh shit! I didn't even think about
if you're
that.
high.
What was the worst? What was the one? What writing session or studio session do you regret the most out of those when you're just loaded in a studio? You remember one?
I made amends to these bandmates, but yeah, there was definitely times where I'd be like, I had a band in LA and I was going to this session and I'm like, not like an hour late, but I'm like 3 hours late.
God,
And
Jamie.
and I get there and we're rehearsing and things are going good, but like you could tell they're still kind of mad and like everything's way behind. And I just
Right.
like bent over to like dial my guitar pedal in, and just like a massive bag of cocaine falls out of my vest on the floor in front of both of them. And I was just like, yeah. So I was all smooth and I'm like, anyways, blah 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 blah. Because in my
Like
mind, I'm
nothing
like,
happened. Like,
everybody, yeah. Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, everyone takes antidepressants. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Put it in my
Yeah.
pocket.
how'd you have money for all this? Like, what were you doing for money?
I did it. That's what I was just
Still?
hustling.
7
Well,
years
now I
still hustling?
then I kind of had money.
Yeah.
Oh, I worked in rehabs for a
Okay.
while. Yeah, for many years actually.
Holy shit.
That was kind of cool. And then I relapsed and I was not working in there. But I worked in a coffee shop one time in Silver Lake. I was the worst barista you'd ever meet. You wish somebody else would make your coffee.
Why is she
ADD.
twitching?
Yeah,
You'll take
and she's
Americano.
like,
I don't
she's
want to.
moving. Yeah, I'm like, she's twitching, but she's moving very slowly.
Yeah. Why? What do you think the songs you wrote during this time of I'm going to call it finding yourself was
That's good.
was the call for help? Like it's like the diary version. Like, what song was it? Like, now you look back, like, damn, I was sad and I was maybe suicidal or I was alone. Like, what was that song you look back now when you're high? Like the call for help.
Oh, I mean, there's so many, but I don't have any that are published. I mean, like I said, I made these records sober.
Any song? Like,
They're
any
all
song.
these. Oh God, I would just have I had this song called "This Distance." This distance, like to be so far away from everything and so dark. And the lyrics are like, oh, admit it, I just needed someone around. Oh, this distance, I just needed someone around. And just the darkness, the despair. Like,
You were lonely.
So fucking lonely.
Yeah, I
had
hear
no idea.
I really feel that. I mean, like, you talk about this time and like, you haven't talked about your parents really during these 7 years after. Like, did they just kind of disband you or disown you or like?
Oh no, they're cool. They
were cool.
They're chill like that. They're chill. They were just like, oh fuck, we didn't even know. I mean, actually, truth, I never told my dad, and he died.
He died during this.
Yeah, I never. That was part of my relapse at 7 years too. My dad showed up in our life again and just like dying and had nothing. Zero.
That's heavy.
Nada. So it was, and my mom like took him into her house and was like taking care of him. They'd been divorced like 30 years. But so that was kind of beautiful in its own, but it was also like awoken the beast again for me.
Right.
In my relationship with him, because I just come out of the closet, I was feeling real good. And then I was like, this guy's here. I can't tell him.
Still, you felt like you couldn't tell your dad?
No, my sister tried to tell him, but he had dementia, so we don't know if he got it.
Man. Do you regret not telling him early in your life?
No, I think that was self-protection. I do think he was homophobic, actually. Okay. I said my parents were cool, and I was referring to my mom.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty homophobic, and that's just where he comes from.
So
but
why did you feel like you were still alone through these times? You had people you're taking drugs with, or were you taking drugs by yourself?
No, I had people that were out and about. I was maintaining, like, going to bars, and it seemed okay.
But
and I still have some friends that met me in that time, but they were like, "You're gonna die probably if you don't stop doing this." That's just what it looked like, because that's what was happening. I just started deteriorating.
But you still felt alone. Why do you think, looking back?
I think that I felt alone because I had so much shame. Right. It's just all about shame, I think.
Did you not love yourself ever?
Oh, never.
Why?
Never. I didn't even know that we were supposed to do that. Well, because I was scared of myself.
Yeah.
If society said I was bad, I was actually kind of like, there was something subconsciously where I was like scared of myself, and I thought I was just bad and defective and condemned.
Right.
I just felt like somebody already told me I was wrong, and so I was like, yeah, I am wrong, and I'm gonna fucking prove that point at myself for many years. And so that's like the opposite of learning to love yourself. I feel like it can't, there is no process that can exist when I'm in a complete self-destruction cycle. Yeah. So it took a lot of years, but I will say, in my, like, those 7 years, even when I didn't know I was gay and all that, just trying to like walk the line, I learned a lot about myself in that time also. That was like a healthy time then. It's just been a process. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step, 3 steps back. And now I feel like I actually have a relationship with myself. Like, I do. I have dialogue that's healthy, and like, I'm not always healthy. Don't get me wrong.
Well, I'm going to clap to that. Let's fucking go, Queen.
Yeah, can we clap? Yes.
We're progressing. We're progressing. Yeah, we should maybe just talk about your music for a second.
Yeah,
we just talked about life, but like, that's how my show is. Everyone you could hear talk about your music, but so what's your schedule like for this year? What's going on?
I'm going to the Grateful Dead thing in Mexico.
You're playing that?
I'm playing that, yeah.
The Riviera
really
Maya,
cool.
or the Great, like
Dead Ahead Fest at Riviera. It's Cancun.
Yeah.
And Bob's gonna be there and stuff. It'd be cool to
Have you seen him since?
Meet him, see if no.
This is gonna be exciting.
But he does know my manager, Don.
Yeah, Donnie Strozzi.
And Don has talked to him, and he remembers my dad. He had said, "Oh, Michael, I remember him." So
Don's the best.
Great.
Don's the best.
Don
I'm so happy.
I know
you guys are working together, because like, I love seeing Don as a manager, not just a booker.
Right?
It's like
he's good.
He
gets it. He gets me.
He found me my manager, Brian Schwartz.
See,
yeah.
He gets artists, and he really understands. He's really got a great ear.
Yeah,
is what it comes down to for me. I'm like, he gets the music.
Have you ever heard him yell yet?
Yeah, he's heard me yell too. But we're close.
I love it. Well, you got to.
Great. We're both really honest, and we're really passionate people. Yeah. And I'm like, to have someone match that energy with me is great.
Yeah, and he's the GOAT. He's one of the GOATs.
He is. He's a king.
He is a king.
I call him the king of Denver.
Oh yeah, he's a GOAT. So what you doing?
I'm coming back to Denver, by the way.
When?
So we're doing a whole tour, January 17th. We start at Troubadour in LA. My headline tour is like my first because of pandemic. I know, right?
Let's go, Jamie.
24 dates. 24 dates.
24 dates headlining.
Yeah, and I got some friends coming out to open and support the shows. Riddy Arman's great singer, Joshua Quimby. So yeah, we're going to be back in Denver at the Bluebird January 26th, which would be really cool. Headlining. I've never headlined there. Headlined.
You excited? You nervous or what? This is your first headline tour.
Oh, for sure, I'm nervous. Yeah, I'm trying to finalize the monitor engineer right now for those in-ears I was talking to you about, and but I'm really stoked.
You going in a
we had
van?
A couple. Actually, we're going in like it's a converted
Bandwagon.
Yeah, basically, it's something cool. It's like a Winnebago.
Sick.
There's bunks, so there's like bunks, which is gonna make this a lot easier because I go hard, baby.
I know,
you know?
Queen. I feel you, Queen.
I
You
know
go
you
get
do
him.
too.
You go get him. You go get him. Let the world
Right.
know who the fuck is about to take over this music scene. I'm serious. You're a badass.
We're
Your
just
music-
got the Winnebago, for outfit changes. The wardrobe is near and dear to my heart.
Hell yeah. Well, keep rocking. I'm so happy
Thanks, Andy.
to officially meet you, and this is just the
Dude.
beginning. Let's be friends, and anything you need.
I know. I'd love that.
I'll get your number from Dawn, or I'll Instagram you,
Perfect.
and we'll make it happen. I got one
All
last
right, man.
question. When it's all said and done, I felt like you've had 4 different lives. It's pretty
Same.
wild.
Thank you. I'm lucky.
You are, and you're still here,
Thank
and
you. Right?
and to fight the demon. It's the demons of depression, man. It is.
Yes.
It is. I mean, it'll take you on a fucking roller coaster, and for you to get through it and put out a record and find a path. And you're just getting started now. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, man.
When it's all
Thank
said
you.
and done, though, what do you want to be remembered by?
I'd like to be inspiring
Right.
for people. That's really what I want. I just want people to be inspired to do whatever it is they need to do.
From hooking up with women in a prison to
Yes.
headlining your first tour, I think that's pretty fucking inspiring. So let's fucking go,
Thank you.
Jamie. Thanks for being on
Thank
the show,
you
Jamie.
so much, Andy.
What a great
You
story.
rule.
You rule, and we'll catch up here pretty soon.
It's my pleasure. Bye, Andy.
Bye, bye.
Bye.